me back to the place I know, with the Mystery Shack and the forest gnomes. I'm already packed, so come on, let's go. Don't get me started, my heart's in Gravity Falls.
Welcome to what easily could be called Mystery Shack Look Back, Look Back. The time capsule has already been buried. The book club has already been shot. We covered every episode of Gravity Falls, and it was a blast. So I thought it was worth doing a sort of little best of here. My name is Charlie Marlowe. I edited probably 75% of what you're about to hear. I will edit your podcast for you. You could contact me at voice@charliemarlowe.com. CharleyMarlowe. If you want to discuss rates for podcast editing. I will be archiving all of the episodes of Mystery Shack Look Back to the Mystery Shack Look Back YouTube soon, with some visuals for when we play clips or refer to images. So keep a lookout for that. And the last 3 Garden Wall recalls will be coming soon. I'm really sorry. I moved across the world. Ella moved out, got a day job the first time. We've been incredibly sidetracked with life things and other projects, but how's this for a transition into the best of clips? It's been about a year since it was just you and I sitting down talking about Gravity Falls.
Just the two of us here in this Antarctic research facility, you know, far away from any other civilization or people.
Well, there is that other facility that's really not too far off.
What, the Swedes?
No, they're Norwegians, Ella.
Oh. A puppy!
Oh, look at the puppy!
You little puppy! Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeesh.
Oof. Big oof moment.
I didn't know the circus is in town, am I right?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
That was our dramatic interpretation of...
It was a little two-person show of The Thing.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
John Carpenter. He is? Oh no! We should burn him! This is your second time on Mystery Shack Look Back.
It is.
Do you know what that means?
No. What does that mean? Do I get a prize?
You know, if this whole podcast is sort of a museum of the Gravity Falls fandom, and we're the curators, so...
It belongs in a museum, sure.
Exactly. And now, so do you.
You are about to graduate into a docent.
Ooh, excellent. I looked up that word the other day when you said it on the show, and I needed to know what that meant.
Define docent, because actually I don't know what it
We've
means.
gotten that question many times before.
A docent is a term used in America to describe a volunteer tour guide at a museum. If you could lift your right hand in the air and place your left hand on this copy of Journal 3.
So I want you to raise your right hand.
Okay, good.
And place your other hand on this Journal 3.
Got it.
Right from the show. It's a cartoon book.
I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
Raise your right hand and place your left hand on this copy of Gravity Falls Journal 3, the book you wrote. Repeat after me. I said repeat after me.
I'm going to. You want me to say repeat after me?
Perfect, all right. You got that part.
What a docent noob.
Repeat after us.
Repeat after us.
You actually got that. No one else gets that. Okay.
I know. I noticed that on the episode I was listening to as well, so I made sure to do it.
I state your name.
I state your name. That's the classic code. I, Jason.
I state your name.
I state your name, which is Kyle Carosa.
Good.
I state your name. Parentheses, Rob Renzetti.
I, Sarah. Oh, wait, no. I state your name. Okay.
I, Abby Kirby.
I, Ray.
I, David Spencer.
I, Mary McKeon.
I, Michael William Hunter.
I, Alexa, that's my name. Sorry, I forgot. Okay.
You were going to say
Alexa,
Mabel, weren't you?
I was about to say Mabel.
Do solemnly swear to uphold.
Do solemnly swear to uphold.
The duties of a Mystery Shack Look Back docent.
The duties.
The duties,
of Mystery Shack docent.
Good enough.
To preserve the history
And protect the mystery.
Of the Gravity Falls fandom.
The Gravity Falls fandom.
And to play shortstop in the Gravity Falls fandom softball team.
And to play shortstop in the Gravity Falls fandom softball team.
In their intramural showdown.
in their intramural showdown
against the Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go Phantom Softball Team.
Against the Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go softball team.
You've caught the Charlie disease where you can't say that show's name for the life of you. In the Super Monkey something Go episode.
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go, Charlie. God.
Super Monkey Robot Team Hyperforce Go. Super Monkey Man Hooper Tooper Supercalifragilisticexpiala Monkey Team Go. Are we gonna give me another try right now?
Charlie, can you do it?
You know what? Rule of threes.
Okay. When that softball game comes up, you're going down. Super Robot?
Yeah, you got it.
So far, so good.
Monkey.
Yep.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, sound it out.
Hyperforce Go!
Yeah!
You did it! You did it!
Please welcome Big Mouth Billy Bass. Hi yourself.
Welcome. Mr. Bass, may I call you Big Mouth Billy? Okay, gotcha. All right.
Well, I guess I had a question. Did you learn that they paid a tribute to you, Billy?
Oh my god, really? That is crazy.
There is, in fact, a mounted singing fish with a Jamaican accent in this episode. No, yeah, I guess it is kind of on the nose to your likeness.
We were asked to do a basketball episode, and so I made an episode called Grup Jam, in which we treat Space Jam.
Wait, hold on, back up. You were asked to create a basketball episode?
Yeah, they were doing a tie-in with the NBA, so I think all the shows were asked to do a basketball episode. And so, like, when they told me that, I quickly grabbed I quickly grabbed an index card and wrote down as fast as I could Grup Jam, held it up to them, and they were like, all right, Kyle knows what to do. So yeah, I made this episode treating Space Jam as if it's like a fairy tale that's been retold a million times and we're just doing our version of it.
Yeah, the first set of shorts started airing on October 14th, 2013. But something else happened on October 2014 that I would be remiss not to bring up on this podcast, and frankly, I don't know where else we have the opportunity to talk about this. On October 14th, 2013, Alex Hirsch tweeted a picture of this game that appeared on the App Store, like on the iTunes Store. And Michael, why don't you describe what you're seeing here?
Oh, that looks like some copyright infringement if I've ever seen one.
Yes, this is Mystery Kids Run.
Mystery Kids Run.
Mystery Kids Run was an app. It is an app, actually. It is still on the App Store as far as I can tell. The iTunes description reads, "Join Jack as he maneuvers through the mysterious forest. Dodge obstacles and speed through to test your reflexes. Fun for boys and girls of all ages." Sorry, Charlie, you can't.
Dang.
Try it out today.
Only fun for boys and girls. Oh.
Only fun for folks on the binary.
I also have never had an iPhone, so there are a number of reasons I will never.
But yeah, there's a lot
this.
of recoloring going on here.
What?
Like...
What are you talking about? Jack wears jeans. Dipper wears shorts. You're very confused.
The sad thing is that Grunkle Stan would absolutely approve of this game. So here's the
Ella, don't kid yourself. Grunkle Stan made this game.
Yeah, you're right. He did. I think that's it.
And why don't you read the game over screen here for us, Michael? It's the last image Ella sent.
Oh, I love it. It's just, you die.
Seuss over Stan's shoulder like, that's a little harsh, Stan. What about, like, game over or something? Or try again.
I can't help but notice that you drew X's over Dipper's eye. No. This is Jack, Seuss.
And Jack is dead, Seuss. Jack has a mortar coil just like the rest of us that he will one day shuffle off.
Any resemblance to persons living or dead, in this case dead, purely coincidental.
The Love God is the 9th episode of season 2 of Gravity Falls and the 29th episode overall. It premiered on November 26, 2014 on Disney XD, sort of.
It was released on the Disney XD site, the Watch Disney XD app, and on-demand services on the 24th as a part of, let's see if I've got this right, Pranksgiving.
So Pranksgiving, I think, is probably the best programming slot we've heard.
Let's see. So far we've had Disney Channel's Monstober.
Monstober's terrible.
Monstober, that almost works.
No,
I think the worst one is January.
January is by far the worst.
Although I don't think there wasn't Gravity Falls in that one. People were scanning January for new Gravity Falls, and there was not.
I think the best one that Gravity Falls has been in so far is Freaky Freakend.
Freaky Freakend was
Jesus
great.
Christ.
Freaky Freakend was the programming block of body swap episodes. That was good.
Michael is praying for Disney to stop being so Disney.
Pranksgiving, I would say, I mean, it's our first Disney XD block rather than Disney Channel, and I'd say somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, no, it's Pranksgiving, yeah.
Yeah. I could see, this episode, there's kind of a party atmosphere to it. I could see how it fits, but it's also just that Disney XD was quote unquote for boys, so I guess it's very blam. It's got blam energy.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Blam, the ultimate thrill ride through the world of Disney. Play it cool, there's a girl watching. Ready, set, blam! Did someone call the Blambulance? Let's rewind the Blam Cam to see that again.
One thing that's funny about all those names is that, like, Disney me and Alex came up with so many, like, marketing ideas to try to, like, spread the word about Gravity Falls, and they were like these, like, ideas that were, like, full of love and inspiration, and they're like, nah, dog. We got January. That's where we're at. They would, like, shoot us down and then come up with Freaky Freakend.
Pranksgiving, kablam!
Blam, blam, bliggity blam!
Hey, Alexa, what do you think of this?
Oh, we get to utter the immortal words.
I assume this is going to have like a Gravity Falls type of theme song.
Hey, Alexa, what do you think of this?
Can I start talking about the guest voice?
Heck yeah!
Who is the guest voice in this episode?
So it's Lance Bass, aka Lanston, from NSYNC.
Oh yes, I think I've heard of that little indie band.
Yeah, you might. I can't really name 3 of their albums, but
So can I tell a story of how Lance Bass got involved with NSYNC?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Jason Galassa was the bass singer for NSYNC when the band was first formed. The name NSYNC comes from the last letters of their first names: Justin, Chris, Joey, Jason, and JC. And Jason dropped out of the band at the last second, so Justin Timberlake called his vocal coach and asked him to find a new bass. Or a new bass, huh? Do you think he's related to Big Mouth Billy Bass?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lance Bass was being trained by the same vocal coach and was 16 at the time. And so the naming scheme could still work, they gave him the nickname Lanston.
I mean, points for creativity.
And Lance's voice acting debut was not here in Gravity Falls, but actually in Kingdom Hearts, where he voiced the cameo from Sephiroth, the villain from Final Fantasy VII.
So, a very normal career path from being in a boy band to...
I need to point out that Sephiroth has had 3 voices thus far. George Newbern voiced Sephiroth in the film Final Fantasy Advent Children. You might know George Newbern as the voice of Superman from the Justice League animated series. Tyler Hoechlin voiced Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which came out last year, 2020. Tyler Hoechlin you also might recognize as one of the alternate Supermen from the Crisis on Infinite Earths plotline on the DC television universe, which means Lanston Bass is the only Sephiroth voice actor who has not played Superman yet.
Let's
get it going. Let's make a hashtag.
Change.org.
Hashtag Superlance.
Petition.
Superlance.
Just petitions up. every petition.
To be fair, I've never seen Lance Bass and Superman in the same room.
That's true. Would we know?
And here's what we also know that might lead a little credence to that theory, Ella.
Yeah.
Lance Bass can fly.
Also very
that's
true.
Right.
Lance Bass, this is just a direct copy-paste from Wikipedia, was certified by both NASA and the Russian space program after several months of cosmonaut training and planned to join the TMA-1 mission to the International Space Station. In August 2002, he entered cosmonaut training in Star City, Russia, and he never got to go to space, unfortunately, but he retains fluent Russian to this day.
And he is certified, so he is a cosmonaut.
He is a cosmonaut, and he would be the captain of my starship crewed by the Gravity Falls voice actors.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
In the My Brother and Me episode 514, titled Kikyo, they discuss this, and then discover that because the mission was designed with Lance Bass's inclusion in mind, it was built to accommodate his weight.
Right, because
And
in
when it
space
was
travel,
found out
the
he would
weight
not-
it has to be incredibly specific. You have to make sure everything is calculated out.
So there is a barrel out there somewhere in Russia that weighs the exact same amount as Lance Bass. In that episode of My Brother and Me, Griffin expressed his intention to acquire it for their podcast. Shelby, are you ready to start a feud?
I'm so ready to start a feud, but you did not explain why couldn't he go to space.
Oh, it was discovered that he had arrhythmia because of a medical check
Yes.
done by the cosmonaut program, which was fixed and his life was saved. So if he had not done cosmonaut training, Lance Bass would be dead, which is unfortunate because he is also a champion of gay rights, by the way. This is, in fact, a singer, podcaster, astronaut,
and gay rights advocate.
Sephiroth.
The ultimate boy band with a life-saving barrel that I do believe we need to acquire.
Yes, we're going to get it before the McElroys do.
I love it. So we're creating kind of an Indiana Jones kind of search for an artifact, and we're going to get it first, and we're a red dotted line on a map, and we're looking for it. We're going to go to Russia.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be outside the temple, and Griffin's going to be like, so, Mystery Shack, look back once again. What was once yours is now mine.
Oh my God, I'm imagining Griffin dressed with the little hat and the glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
and then they open the barrel and their faces melt off. But then I guess this is just the equivalent of that, but more of an inspirational Remember the Titans-esque,
or what's that?
Sports drama.
What's that? Rudy or whatever.
What?
Rudy?
Rudy?
You don't know about the film Rudy?
Rudy
is... well, okay, so there's a joke in something, but apparently it's a common joke because it's in a lot of articles, that watching the film Rudy is one of the only appropriate times for a man to cry. You are too female to have even heard of Rudy.
You're right.
I'm non-binary, so I'm half familiar with Rudy.
Yeah, Grunkle Stan Wins the Football Bowl is better than Rudy. If Rudy has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, Grunkle Stan Wins the Football Bowl has a 100% certified fresh. Not only is it more concise, but it has a talking robot for the kids.
I would even go as far to say they say that Rudy is one of the only times a man is allowed to cry. If you cry at Rudy and not Grunkle Stan Wins the Football Bowl,
are you a real man?
Are you a real man?
I'm not sure.
We're not experts. We're asking.
No, we actually failed pretty miraculously.
We're just curious. We're not. This is not
a judgment. No.
Are you a real man? Like, we don't know.
Reddit user Inumaru12 asked, so back in Sunday school, the church I went to was very old and took everything very seriously. The priest used to have a serious talk with us about demons and such and took our questions very seriously and answered everything that they could. They said that if there was a possession, that even if the demon was gone, it still had a way into the person if the person wasn't blessed or purified of the demon essence. So my question is, since Dipper hasn't gone to church to be blessed/purified, At least that we've seen.
Yeah, Dipper off screen. Dipper goes to church. Yeah,
Dipper has not gone to church.
Off screen every Sunday. Dipper is in church.
Dipper has become Catholic.
Dipper is just getting re-baptized once a week.
Yeah, he's like,
he's like, you can't be too careful about these things, Mabel.
Father, you're not gonna believe what Mabel did this week. Oh man, send us your best Dipper has become Catholic memes.
The horrible nightmare.
Yeah, so let's hear about your account of this jigsaw puzzle, Jason.
We've only seen videos of the puzzle. You were down in the trenches, Jason.
Yeah,
you were born in it, molded by it.
I saw the bag come out of the P.O. box. I was right there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And I was so excited. And as useless as I was trying to find that pouch with the USB earlier in Century City, I was like, oh, a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle, no less. This is where I shine.
It is Bill on a yellow background.
Not a different yellow, the same yellow as Bill.
Yellow lines on a yellow background.
And there are also just random lines to resemble shapes that might be in Bill just around it.
I'm getting a headache just hearing about it.
The ones with the little black lines, you could sort of try to match angles, but they were symbols, so we didn't know what they were supposed to be. We were just like, this is generally the right thickness
did you do the
angle?
classic start with the borders?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, we started with the borders, which was very helpful. But then there was just a sea of yellow pieces, which would be like basically taking a jigsaw puzzle, flipping it upside down so you can't see any picture at all, and just trying to match based on shape.
Except that's the picture.
When you found a yellow piece that fit with another yellow piece, it was like euphoria. It was
no drug will get you higher.
The light of God shone down on you like Blues Brothers.
Yeah. Jason's been chasing this high ever since. There's no way he'll ever feel this again.
You start to feel like, I think I've seen a piece that's kind of this shape.
Still to this day, when you close your eyes, all you see is yellow.
Yeah,
it's
basically.
burned into your retinas. The physical puzzle was finally completed on August 1st, and then it was signed and displayed, I believe, in that store.
And then the store went to hang it up, and then
oh my gosh! Well, that actually
at least they would have the signature to
sweat. Just
make it a little easier.
We were deep into several episodes. Hirsch was debating whether we wanted a journal or not, or any kind of book for Dipper to have. Mm-hmm. And so, like in the original version of the Gobblewonker, when he says there's a space hidden under the waterfalls, he was just looking at a map in the first iteration of that story.
Wow.
So we got to the episode where it's revealed that Gideon has Journal 2, and the original ending of that episode had Gideon just kind of stewing by himself at home, and a shadowy demon comes in and starts speaking with him.
Wow.
We pitched that to our exec, Eric Coleman, and Eric loved it. He said, this is great. And then, after lauding the episode, he turned towards us, and specifically Alex, and said, hope you guys have this all worked out. Hope you know where you're going. And so after that, we had this panicked meeting where
Alex was like, yep. Yeah.
Okay, we got to figure out how we're doing. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I could totally picture the Gilligan cut cliche of just yeah, of course we have a plan. Whoop, we have no plan. What are we gonna do?
That reminds me of the story that when you found that season 1 ends with a cryptogram that says "Search for the Blind Eye," Rob told Alex that better mean something.
And Alex was like, yeah, of course it does. Oh my god, it doesn't mean anything. I just thought it sounded cool.
Well, once we establish that there's going to be codes, and all the things that are mystery that you think that are something are going to be something, or most of them will be something, and some of them will be fake outs.
Exactly.
We all felt like we had to produce on that promise.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating to know now that the New York Times bestselling Journal 3 almost just didn't exist in the show. It just had no basis.
So we had a brainstorming session. We were all pitching ideas to each other and figuring out what we could do. Vis-a the book, vis-a what was the deal with Gideon and who was behind him, who was this mystery figure.
Yeah.
Was it going to be Bill? Was it going to be somebody else? We talked for a couple hours, and then Alex said, okay, we've talked about a bunch of stuff. Let's all go off and come up with an idea.
Okay.
Our idea, and we'll come back to the room and we'll pitch it. So I'm the one who went away and came back with the idea that there's not one book, but there's 3.
Yeah.
I said Dipper has journal number 3, Gideon has journal number 2, and Stan has journal number 1. And everybody went with that idea. Everybody thought that was the idea to go with.
I mean, it's perfect.
So this truly is your baby, then. Journal 3 really just is your baby.
In a way, I mean, Alex possibly wanted Dipper to have a book, but he didn't really know what. The idea that I came up with that I thought like, well, this is great, is that, Gideon has a book, and then we reveal later on that Stan has a book, and that just like deepened the mystery about it.
Yeah. Right. It naturally leads you, because once you see in Tourist Trap Journal 3, immediately you're like, okay, where's 2 and 1? Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
I'm gonna plead here with the listeners. Alex has never been to Chicago, and that means I have never been able to meet him because I don't have any money. Everybody needs to harass him.
Write him such a letter.
So that he comes to Chicago, specifically to visit me.
Yeah, tape Alex to the bean forever.
Then I can ask him, like, really stupid questions. Not even scholarly questions, just really dumb ones.
It can be both.
Do you guys want to know the story of Bradley?
What's the story of Bradley?
Regale us!
Because it's never been told or regaled before, but I'm
this is a Mystery Shack Look Back exclusive. Oh. The Tale of Bradley.
So, this whole thing is a collaboration, but it's a dance between order and chaos, and you have no idea what's going to happen, and believe it or not, Bill Cipher's statue was found months before we even launched the hunt.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Check this out. I believe it was Mystery of Gravity, or Gravity Falls Cipher, our friend, that mysterious fella who is aware of all things online, who alerted me to the fact, before we even started, that someone had... Basically what happened was this kid Bradley was just wandering around in the woods. He lives in Reedsport. He saw the Bill Cipher statue, never heard of Gravity Falls, had no context for it. The thing hadn't been launched. I don't even know if the show had ended yet at this point. And
how did he know to dig up a USB stick?
Well, he didn't. So here's the thing. He took a picture of it and he uploaded it, again, ages before this thing was even started, to a Reddit Unsolved Mysteries, Creepypasta, X-File.
Bill wasn't even dead yet.
Exactly. And he said, hey, I saw this thing in the woods. Does anyone know what this is? And it was a blurry picture, and he wasn't like a well-known Redditor, and nobody even saw it. But somehow, if I'm remembering correctly, my friend Gravity Falls Cipher reached out to me and said, somebody found this thing. And what I did is, as the voice of God, I was like, see if you can get a hold of this guy's email.
Kidnap him, put him in a van.
I emailed him. I said, hey, congratulations, Bradley, but finding this means that you've got a prize, but you have to take that picture off of Reddit immediately. Take the picture off of Reddit, give me a call, and I'll explain.
And make sure the USB stick is still there.
So he deleted the image off of Reddit. He called me. I just heard this kid's voice like, hey, what's up? This is Bradley. I was like, Bradley, I think it was like 2 a.m. when I was talking to him. I was like, Bradley,
are you up? You have to meet me at the Twin Pines Mall.
Bradley, this is very important. And so I was like, Bradley, here's what's up. I've created this big fun treasure hunt, and it's part of a project for a television series. And actually, amazingly, you found it first. And I would love to send you some Gravity Falls goodies and $100. And he's like, oh yeah, $100. Yeah, okay. I just have to delete the picture. I was like, yeah. All you got to do is delete the picture. And he's like, but wait, so like everyone's gonna be hunting for this.
So Mystery Shack Look Back exclusive. Cipher Hunt would not have panned out how it did if Alex Hirsch did not bribe a child that he found on Reddit at 2 a.m.
In the dead of night, I bribed a child and I said, like, I'll give you $100, you delete the thing, and he's like, oh, but I'm the one who found it. Like, is someone else gonna get the credit for finding it? I was like, Bradley, you could take credit for being the first one to find it after the thing has been located. And so Bradley took it upon himself to... And he's like, so what's there? What are people looking for? I'm like, oh, I've buried a little treasure chest. So Bradley came back, opened up the treasure chest, wrote down Bradley was here, reburied it, deleted it. I sent him $100, but he managed to be part of Gravity Falls lore forever. But that's a podcast exclusive. No one has ever heard of this.
That's amazing.
Wow.
The Tale of Bradley.
He just did that himself. He wrote that himself. He just decided to face.
I'm imagining that one day Bradley will create a cartoon show of his own, and Alex will just from working in that world to be exposed to it and be like, why does that name sound so familiar?
It's Bradley.
I will try to spoil his treasure.
Yeah.
And I'll get my $100 back.
Yeah, Alex was here.
This podcast is all to say, 1, bring back mustard brushes, but 2, this is kind of a heist that we're doing. It's called Benjamin Heist. We're trying to get Alex's $100 back from Bradley.
Just give me my cash, Bradley. These cipher hunts don't come cheap.
So kudos to Bradley and kudos to the official Gravity Falls mayor and the family that found all these treasures. What did you think was behind the vending machine?
I had no idea. I mean,
Me
I really
neither.
just had no idea. It was like, what is he doing? It seemed high tech. So it wasn't like a bookcase, like, oh, it's a secret room where he just goes to like have some quiet time. It was like, he's doing something back there.
Be careful though, guys, because there are some zoning restrictions about where we can and can't talk about fan theories.
Oh, that's right. Jason, we have a
designated hallway.
Yeah.
No, landlord rules, city restrictions. Yeah, so we actually have a hall of conspiracies where it is safe and appropriate to talk about these sort of things.
Okay. So why don't we go into that segment?
Yeah, will you follow us?
Yes.
Let's go to the Hall of Conspiracies.
Ladies and gentlemen, right this way to the Hall of Conspiracies.
Why is that conspiracy over there got like a weird purple pixel thing happening on it?
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So in the
David's glitching through the wall.
Oh, no.
David, can you just podcast from within the wall there?
Okay, I think I'm stuck.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to just like jump into the river 20 times.
So David, do you remember you start out in the Pixely Shack?
Yeah, I think I remember that. Oh, sorry, I just realized I had a fairy on me, so I gotta keep jumping into the river again. Welcome to Mystery Shack Look Back. I'm your docent, David Spencer.
Well, anyway, it was this was a recent post, but it's talking about this episode and no other episode. So,
all right, do you want me to read it?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it, Adam.
There's
not a whole lot of text to it.
All right, send it on over to the podcast machine.
Yeah, just feed that through the podcast. Ella, can you feed this through the podcast machine real quick?
I always have to feed the podcast machine. Ah, my sleeve! Help!
Ah, she's fine.
I hate feeding the podcast machine. All right, here it is.
Okay.
Alexa, I actually have something to read for you.
Okay.
This is an excellent text. I'm a big fan. It reads, Grunkle Stan, I think he's going to do something very noble. Like he's going to be like,
and then he's going to like sacrifice his arm or something. I feel like there was a loved one. And, maybe that person is not in the picture anymore.
And who wrote this journal?
I thought that Grunkle Stan and his significant other wrote it together.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The person that is no longer in the picture disappeared. I see that this is an interesting hand. 1, 2, 3. From our knowledge of the six-fingered being is usually a villain, what if the six-fingered person is the significant
other of Grunkle Stan, Alexa Quizon, June 5th, 2021, after viewing only the first episode of Gravity Falls? TV is not a hobby, it is a game, and Alexa, you are the winner!
If I understand correctly, sort of the thesis of your podcast is you're not just trying to chronicle the show, nor are you just trying to chronicle the fan stuff. You're trying to chronicle the sort of confluence of the two, the unique experience that it was to watch it as it was happening in a particular moment in time.
You guys are doing something really important here, and that is the preservation of paratextual and cultural memory. which is, as we've been saying, fans do develop their own cultures. Not only do we have to work to preserve the memory of Gravity Falls in places like wikis and try to maintain pieces of like Alex's tweets and all of the secret codes so that future fans can come along and dissect these things with the same opportunities that we had, but we also in a way sort of preserve our own memories with each other and things that we were thinking at the time, and that is incredibly vital to who we are as a group of people, as a fandom.
I just want to compliment the two of you on how, talking about this episode has really made me think back to previous episodes of this podcast and how well the two of you walk the line of sharing the conspiracies and the theories.
Thank you.
And giving even weight to the ones that turned out to be true and the ones that weren't. And I have never, ever said this about a podcast before in my life. I'm really excited to go back and re-listen to all of the episodes all over again because now I want to do that.
Thank you. Glad. That makes me really happy.
Well, I mean, that's the very first words of our very first episode. Take me back.
Oh my goodness, even the song.
Take me back to the place I know with the mystery shack and the forest gnomes. I'm already packed, so come on, let's go. Don't get me started, my heart's in Gravity Falls. Oh, wait! Charlie, did you get new batteries in the Big Mouth Billy Bass?
No, I didn't.
It was me.
Stan, the dog with the blog.
I heard your angelic singing, Charlie, and I realized I could use my blog to help. The post went #viral, and, well, I managed to reach the big guy.
Oh my gosh.
He's here. Adam knew the Spittle Man.
Ho, ho, ho. A joyous feast of St. Spittlestein and merry halfway to Spittlemas. I've brought delicious batteries for all the good little bass and gills.
Yay! Wait, delicious? Adam New hates the taste of battery acid.
So that must be...
The thing!
It's a living.
I hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane of our trip down memory road. If you want to find the episodes of the podcast that these clips were from, you can go to pipedreampodcasts.com, which is also the home of Come On Hookah Pods, Pod Made You Special, Escape from Walt Disney, and How Did This Not Get Made? Or you can look up Mystery Shack Look Back wherever you get your podcasts, including, soon, YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube. It'll be linked below to check out those visual versions as they come out. The Hey Alexa Gravity Falls version and the instrumental The Hall of Conspiracies intro were both made by Simon the Dimbulb V2-0. Link to their stuff in the description. Thank you for the memories.